YouTube, what's poppin', baby? You read the title of today's video. Some people are not built for success. That is the harsh truth of life. Some people just are not built for it. And I'm not saying this to demean anybody. There's enough success to go around for people to get, but some people biologically, chemically, their DNA is not hardwired to be successful. And of course, success can be subjective, but in an objective term, in an objective sense, success means having a lot of assets, having less liabilities, having a decent amount of status, money. So the reason I say a lot of people are not built for success is because you do not understand the pressure that is put onto an individual in a successful position. Okay? And the good thing about this is that you may not be ready for success right now, but that doesn't mean you can't cultivate yourself into the type of individual that's ready to take on that type of pressure, to take on that type of attention. Because you see this a lot with guys that start to level up. They start to hit the gym, and then they hit like their 2 to 3 year mark. And they realize, now I'm starting to get some attention from people. Now I'm starting to realize what kind of burdens have been brought onto me for becoming more attractive. Now, I'm not saying don't level up and don't become more attractive, because overall your life will be a lot better. But there's also a lot of things that people don't understand that come with being attractive. Like, society puts more pressure on you to be perfect at certain things. Society, people in general, look at you in a certain light, like you can do no wrong. And when you do happen to mess up or make a mistake, because you are a person, you are a human being, it's like their entire world comes crashing down upon them, because they make this perfect image of you in their head. And when you don't live up to it because of your aesthetic, because of the fact that you're not a robot or some type of fucking movie character, it just destroys their world for a little bit. And some individuals are not built to take that kind of criticism, right? Because a lot of attractive people either come from an already attractive base, right? And those people don't really have any trouble taking in this kind of attention, because they've kind of had it their whole life. But if you come from a place where you weren't very attractive growing up in large social dynamics, like high school, middle school, if you're in the US, or like secondary school, I think, in the UK. But if you were not used to garnering this type of attention, you were not used to being attractive, you were not used to being held in such high regard by other people, it's going to be a shock to you, right? To go from basically a nobody to, holy shit, like everybody's talking about you at your job, everybody loves you at the place you work at, stuff of that nature. It's going to be hard for you to logically break down what's happening to you in your mind, and you're still going to hold on to these paradigms that you grew up with in your most impressionable phases of life. You're going to hold on to these paradigms that you were a nobody, and it's going to be very strange and hard for you to cultivate yourself into this new identity that you've created through self-improvement. Reason why I focus so much on attractiveness in this, video topic of success is because in a way it's the same thing, right? If you weren't attractive before and all of a sudden now you're attractive, you're going to garner a lot of attention and pressure that wasn't there before. And it's the same thing with being successful, because you're going to have to work hard for it. Nobody's going to know who you are. And then all of a sudden you hit the J curve of being a successful individual. And now a lot of pressure and expectation is put upon you, just like being a newly attractive person. But again, the good thing is, if you can surpass this limbo period of not being a person that's held in high regard to being a person that's held in high regard, then you are basically built for success. But the people that start to get this attention and kind of trickle off and fall off because it's too much for them, they're just not built for it. They're not. And also, you have to realize that the journey to success is really boring. Some people just can't withstand the boredom of perfecting a craft, of perfecting a certain skill it takes in order to run a business. Most of the time, the greatest people in any sport, in any practice, are only so great because they can withstand the boredom. Once you master the fundamentals, you master the intermediate techniques, and then you master the advanced techniques, you reach a ceiling. And it's just putting in your reps in now. It's boring. Like eventually, if you do go to the gym, lift weights, what happens to a lot of guys is that it becomes fucking boring as shit, especially if you're a natural lifter. You get to a point where the law of diminishing returns is so great that you're barely going up in weight, maybe going up a pound, 5 pounds every year on certain lifts, and that's boring. But people that make it past that threshold are the ones that become the greats. The ones that become garnished in the halls of fame of history. So you have to look at yourself from a fundamental level and start looking ahead into decades of your life instead of just 5 years into. You have to think about when you start a new habit, a new skill, and you start to, dive into a craft, are you going to be in it for the long run? Am I going to be successful in this field? Because when the novelty wears off, will I be able to stick with this? Success does not come from trying a whole bunch of different stuff and jumping ship because it gets boring, it gets stale, or it gets too hard. Success comes from sticking to one thing that you know you're good at and realizing that it won't be as fulfilling in the future as it is now, but still sticking with it and becoming a master at it. A master not only in your own craft, but a master at teaching others the craft as well. Because that can be a whole nother door of possibility opened for success in that field. And some motherfuckers just can't handle the heat. So just realize that success comes with a lot of burdens that you may not expect, and that the reason you might not be successful right now in this moment is because you have not molded yourself into the type of person that can handle these burdens. You have not learned the lessons that life has tried to teach you in order to handle what success will bring. So that's why I'm saying to look deep inside yourself fundamentally, understand what it is you need to work on at a spiritual level, at a at a fundamental level, understand what that is. And slowly but surely, you will become the type of individual that can handle the pressure, that can handle the boredom, and that you have always wanted to be. So that's your first actionable step. And just be honest with yourself. Do you truly think you are capable of achieving the success that you crave? If the answer is yes, put your all towards it. Go 110% and never look back. If the first answer that popped into your head was no, maybe you're just not ready. And revisit this question again once you've done some introspection. But that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video, learned something from the video, or simply want to, go ahead, share the video with somebody that needs to hear this information. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell to be notified when I drop another video. I've been your boy Adam, and I'm very grateful to you for watching all the way to the end of this video, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm gone.